What's up guys, Sean here with Ace Fishing, and today we're discussing conventional bank angling. What it is, how it works, and what gear you need so that you can participate in this sport. So what is conventional bank angling? Okay, so conventional bank angling is basically what it says. It's a conventional method of approaching a lake or a dam or a pond where you've planned to fish. Alright, so how it works is you fish with two rods. You've got two lines going into the water. You fish with two hooks and a weight on each rig. So onto the weight you place your feed, that's going to keep the fish in the area. You place your flavor onto the feed, onto the little ball that you make over your weight. And then you've got two hook presentations in the area where you feed. Okay, rod setup. So rod setup is fairly simple. You need 6 rods. You need 2 7-foot rods, you need 2 10-foot rods, and then you need 2 12-foot rods. The 12-foot rods depends on what your physical length is. Myself, I'm 1/8 in length, so I fish with a 12-foot rod. It seems to be working fairly well. I've been fishing that way for like 9 years now. It's a nice equilibrium between what my physical length is and how I can utilize the rod, to get the bait on deeper distances. With a smaller rod, I can't reach the distances. With a longer rod, it's a bit, I tend to become a bit clumsy with a longer rod. So a 12-foot rod is perfect for me. If you're a bit taller, like you're 1'9", 2 meters tall, probably a 13, 14-foot rod would be the right type of setup for you. The reason why there's 2 of each is if you determine at what distance the fish is, you can fish 2 rods on the same spot. So if I determine that there's fish at 30 meters, I can fish 2 7-foot rods on that spot the whole time and keep that spot going, trying to keep the fish in that area the whole day. And also, you need to keep in mind from a competition perspective, the shallower you get your fish, the quicker you're going to bring them into the side, and it's going to give you more fish, which is actually going to end up giving you more points at the end of the day when you get to the weigh-in. So basically it's 2 7-foot rods for shallow fishing, anywhere between 10 and 30 meters. Then I've got my 2 10-foot rods that's going to be from, like, let's say 50 meters up to 80 meters, and then I've got my 12-foot rods where I fish between 100 to 120 meters. I've heard of guys that fish up to like 150 plus. Myself, I can't cast that far, and I cast that like 110, 120 meters, and it's working for me. I get big fish at that distances, and sometimes I catch a lot of fish at that distances as well. So you don't need to throw over the lake or dam or pond. You just get into the deep water, so try and get it out there as far as possible with your long rods, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to pick up a decent sized fish, and that's basically a rod setup. So reel setup this is what we use. We use this, the term we use is a bait runner. Basically it's a big spinning type setup, but it's got a braking system at the back which is in line. It's like your olden day braking system in front, it's just here at the back, and then you've got your bait runner function, which is basically right there. And all the bait runner does is it basically gives the fish an opportunity to run with your bait without it pulling your rod and reel off your stand. So basically, if I can show you it, if I can just get it through here, there. Okay, so basically, if you put your bait runner on, now it stands on your stand and you wait for the fish to bite. As soon as the fish picks up and starts running, then it does this. So it indicates to you that the fish is on, and once you see that, 9 times out of 10 there's a hook set already on the inside of the fish's mouth, so you don't need to strike to break the fish's head off. It's the fish is on, so you can just lightly lift your rod up and then start playing the fish. Lift it up, and then just with your finger you can hold it there. It starts slagging this function down, and as soon as you hit or turn the handle, the bait runner goes off again. And this is the kind of setup that we use, but I'll go into more detail in a later video to show you exactly in the field how it works. Okay, line, what type of line to use. So from a competitive perspective, we use 7-pound line. There's 3 types of line, or three different breaking strength lines that you would use. You would use a 7-pound line normally. In normal conditions, you'll use 7-pound line. When you're fishing a river system, there's a lot of obstruction in a river system, so like logs that's on the bottom, rocky points, a lot of reeds, grass top structure that will snap a 7-pound line very easily. So then we'll upsize to a 10-pound line when we're fishing in river systems. And then obviously when you fish a big lake and you're not getting fish between 100 or 120 meters, and you have to go over that 120 meters, then we'll even downsize further to like a 5-pound line, which is not something that I would recommend to people just starting out. It's obviously something that the guys that's been in the competition scene for a while now, they know how to apply that. And then the other thing that we do is we tie a leader, like anywhere between 18 to like 22, 23 pounds leader. We tie onto that 7-pound line that's coming off your spool or off the reel. And the reason for the leader is the leader serves as a shock absorber. Basically, you're throwing a large weight to get distance, and now you've got a ball of feed onto that weight as well, so that's even heavier. So with a 7-pound line, as soon as you open up and you force that rod to get the bait out into the deep water, it will snap the 7-pound line, and hence the reason for the leader. The leader, it absorbs that shock, and as soon as your leader is through the last eye of your rod, the 7-pound line starts running freely. And because of the thin diameter of the 7-pound line, you can reach much further distances when casting. Okay, so rig setup. For conventional bank angling, we use mainly 3 types of rigs. Number 1 is the reed flay. It's the most common one that everybody uses. Especially myself, I really don't tend to use any type of other rig, because why reinvent the wheel? If a reed flay works, then I don't really need to use the other 2. But the other 2 does have their advantages as well. So the 3 rigs that I'm referring to is the reed flay, the baby shoe, and the fold on rig. Basically, reed flay, and I'll discuss how to make your own rigs in one of the next videos. Is basically you use the same line for the backbone if you want to, or the main line of the rig. You use your leader line. So you'll use a 7-pound line on the hook link, and you'll use the leader line where your weight goes onto. Once again, this is to take the pressure and serve as a shock absorber when casting out. And then these bad boys, they just run freely with your hook baits on. And we fish with a 0.8 or a size 1 hook that is chemically sharpened. So these are extremely sharp, and this is basically how it works. So what would happen is you've got one hook at the bottom. This is one rig that I've already used. So there was a lot of snags in the water. I took off the top hook. So you've got the two hooks usually, one at the bottom, one at the top, that runs freely on this shaft line. And your bait, your feed, the ball of feed, the maize, the crushed maize feed would actually sit on the weight here. And this is a mushroom weight. The reason we use the mushroom and not like a teardrop type weight is purely that it has a base where your feet can sit onto. So when you cast out, it actually travels like this, and this would break the wind that your feet doesn't fall off. So this is basically the rig setups that we use, and this is a mushroom type hook. Reason being exactly what it looks like. If you turn it upside down, it looks like a mushroom. So this is the setup, and you know, once the wind picks up and there's a lot of turbulence in the water, you know, the water's going backwards, forwards, you don't want this thing that's to lie on the bottom and roll around. So then you'll always try and upsize, go to a bigger weight, you know. But when you start your session, try to fish as light as possible. Like I said, this is a finesse type fishing. So you know, you don't really want bulky approaches like this, but I mean, I've caught carp of up to 7-8 kilograms often, you know, and I caught them on exactly this type of rig setup as well. So you wait a bit longer to get the bigger fish, but you know, you can catch it with this rig setup as well. But I'll always start with the lighter weight, which is like, this is probably a size 1 mushroom, you know, but you want to start off with a M0 or a M1, and then progress your way up between a M1.5, a M2, and the M is just basically stands for mushroom. That's just an indication as to what weight you buy. So this is basically the two type of setups. You know, this is to catch close, and this is to go in deep, and that's it. Hook baits. I just have a few here, but I'll put some images on for you guys later to indicate the other ones. So it's not a real big variety, although the flavors and stuff that they put into it gives you a wide variety to use, you know. And this is the most common type of feeds that we use. We use the maize pips, which is basically just a corner of the cob type deal that we put onto the hooks. And then, you know, I'll do a video on bait presentations to show you what type of hook bait you can use in a combination with each other, just to try and mix it up a bit, to give the fish a bigger variety as to what they can choose from, you know. So and then during the course of your fishing session, you'll start to pick up a pattern as to what the fish want that day. You know, you get times where the maize pips is on and it's working, and then other days where you can use the floaties. Okay, so basically floaties is almost like a maize type chip, and like your knickknacks type deal, you know. You'll see it can break open, it looks the same as knickknacks on the inside, but it's been shaped to this round little bowls, and you put it onto the point of your hook. And as soon as it hits the water and it's on the bottom, it starts softening up, you know. So as soon as that fish comes and it swallows it, or it just inhales it and spits it out again, as it spits it out, the hook's on the inside of the mouth. So this is floaties, and this specific one is a banana one. I like to use banana. It's a natural type feed color. The fish in South Africa has been conditioned to know that your maize type feed is what we put in, and you know, so the waters have been conditioned for them to know anything like white or yellow. It has become sort of like part of their natural food source, especially on dams that there has a lot of pressure from bank angling. So the yellow ones, it's a little bit sweet, carp tend to like sweet flavors like banana. This is a banana floaty, one of my favorites that I use 90% of the time, and then I'll work my way over to different types of flavors from there, just to try and identify a pattern to see what the fish is onto. And yeah, so you've got your maize, you've got your floaties. The other ones I'll put some images on is earthworms. It's your typical night crawlers that you would put on, and then the other two is dough. So what you would do is you would take your bread powder that you make bread with, and you would actually add some water, some sugar, and you would start to mix that up, that it makes a little bowl, like a dough bowl, that has the same texture as either press stick or blue tack overseas that you guys know. So it's got that type of texture, and what happens is you just take a little piece out of that dough ball and you put it behind either the maize pip, and you start rolling it, that it looks like a little long white worm. And that gives us a nice baked presentation, and carp seem to love it. You know, they pick it up. Catfish pick it up, grass carp, all your coarse type fish, they do eat it. And then the other one is brown bread. You know, it's an old school method. You know, our grandfathers used it. It still works. You know, so like I said, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can just maybe adapt it and make it a little bit better. So by saying that, what we would do is we would add the flavors to your brown bread, and you would also to have that sticky, tacky type of texture, and you would put it just in a small bag. And once you get to the water, once again you put your maize pip or your floaty onto it, and you can actually put a little bit of that brown bread behind it and make it look like a little teardrop, and the carp absolutely love it. So what else do you need? You need a tripod stand that's got 2 arms that you can put 2 rods up. You're only allowed to fish with 2 rods at a time. We're not allowed to fish with any more than that. You're going to need a battle box. So it's a wooden box that's got a drawer in it, and you can open the lid, and on the top side you'll have all your different flavors of concentrates and different dips that you can actually add or put onto your hook bait or onto your feed. And you put all your rigs in there, your extra spools for your reels, scissors, all kinds of stuff that you're going to need for your fishing session. You can pack into that box, so you don't need to walk up and down to your car the whole time. Everything is there. You don't need to bend down, stand up. You can stand up straight, fish the whole day. Everything you need is right there in front of you. You're going to need a landing net, so it's basically a net with an arm that you can land the fish with, and then you're going to have a keep net, which is exactly what the term refers to. It's a net that keeps the fish in, and it's got a lid that's on a hinge system, so you put your fish inside and the lid closes, and it keeps your fish inside the net for the duration of the competition. So once you're done, you pick up your net, you take your fish out, they weigh the fish, and you put the fish back into the lake, because we promote catch and release. And then obviously the guy with the most fish that contributes to the highest pointing scoring system wins the day. And a keep net is basically a netted version of a boat's live well, just a bit bigger. And that's it. That's basically what you need for you to participate in this sport. But I'll put some images into this video and just highlight what each of the different accessories or gear is that you'll need, just to give you a clear indication as to what it is that you're looking for when you go to the fishing shop. You know, I know sometimes when you walk into a big fishing shop, it's quite intimidating. You know, you've got all these flavors, all these brands, and you know, we'll do a breakdown version or series of videos on gear and baits, and once you get into the swing of things, you know, you can start to make your own decisions as to what you still need to purchase, what type of bait you prefer, what you like. You know, each angler has his own method or technique of fishing, so everybody will have their own way of adapting so that it's a comfortable situation for them when they fish. And you just need to find your stride, you know. But I think that the information that I supply you with will definitely help you to improve your fishing. It's going to help you to catch more fish. It's going to help you to catch bigger fish, and it's just going to help you to be motivated when you're next to the water, because you're definitely going to see a positive change in your fishing sessions once you start to apply all these techniques and you understand the gist of what it is that we're doing. So yeah, and that's about it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel, and then I'll see you next time. Thanks.